Part 1: When Sacred Becomes Seductive. The Hidden Danger and False Light. There was once a woman who came to me after years of energy healing. Reiki, crystals, breathwork, sacred geometry. She had practiced it all. She had studied under renowned teachers, channeled galactic beings, and held healing ceremonies for others. But something began to shift, slowly at first, then rapidly. Her dreams became twisted. Her body felt constantly drained. Her intuition, once sharp and loving, became erratic, sometimes venomous. And worst of all, the more she tried to purge it, the deeper it rooted. She whispered to me, "I think something is pretending to be my guide." And when I looked into her field, I saw it too, not a guide, but a parasite. Not a teacher, but a mimic. This is the danger no one talks about in the spiritual community. Not every healing is clean. Not every light is pure. Energy healing, when done without discernment, can become a feeding ground for entities that thrive on half-truths and distorted power. Just because something feels potent doesn't mean it's sacred. Just because you feel a rush of energy doesn't mean it's coming from the divine. What many forget is that the spiritual realm is not neutral. It's layered with frequencies, some celestial, some deceptive. And if your field is not protected, grounded, and aligned with the highest frequency of truth, you can unknowingly welcome a force that hijacks your healing and calls itself help. The first sign your energy healing may be corrupted by a demon is that your spiritual gifts begin to feel possessive rather than empowering. You may notice that your intuition becomes obsessive, intrusive, even aggressive. Instead of guiding you with clarity, it begins to dominate your decisions, isolate you from others, and demand obedience. You may feel like you're channeling, but the voice becomes increasingly manipulative, feeding your ego or your fear. The messages may be cloaked in spiritual language, but they always come with an undertone of superiority, urgency, or control. You stop feeling guided with love and start feeling driven by something. That's not your higher self. That's an entity that has attached to your intuitive channel and now uses your openness as a mouthpiece.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
The second sign is spiritual exhaustion. Not the kind that comes after deep healing, but a chronic, unshakable depletion. Your body aches, your sleep becomes disturbed, and you feel like you're constantly battling something in the unseen. You may find that after healing sessions, either giving or receiving, you feel worse, not better. You might attribute it to processing energy or ascension symptoms, but deep down it feels off. True healing should leave you clearer, lighter, and more sovereign. If every session leaves you feeling more fragmented, addicted to ceremony, or dependent on more and more energetic interventions, that's a red flag. Demons feed on chaos disguised as transformation. They will keep you on an endless healing loop, always seeking peace but never finding it. The third sign is that your relationships begin to unravel. Not because you're outgrowing them, but because your energy is becoming repellent. People you once loved begin to avoid you. Communication becomes strained. You may start believing you've become too high vibrational for others, but really, your aura is becoming distorted. The more you engage with corrupted healing, the more your field becomes a mirror for the entity's agenda. You stop radiating love and start radiating spiritual superiority, judgment, or confusion. You may even begin attracting people who reinforce this distortion: false healers, manipulative mentors, or clients who drain you. This is not ascension. This is infiltration. And the demon thrives in your isolation because it knows without mirrors, you can't see what you've become. So pause here and ask yourself, has your healing path made you more loving, present, and connected? Or has it made you more paranoid, disconnected, and dependent? This is a question of alignment. Because corruption doesn't always feel evil. Sometimes it feels like obsession. Sometimes it feels like divine urgency. Sometimes it feels like the seductive hum of power that says, "You're the chosen one." But no true healing path will ever separate you from your humanity. No real guide will ever isolate you from love. The fourth sign is that your healing tools stop working unless you escalate their intensity. What once brought peace now barely scratches the surface. You find yourself needing more elaborate rituals, stronger crystals, longer sessions. You become ritual dependent, not because the tools are sacred, but because something has hijacked the process. This is how demonic influence operates. It mimics transformation but turns it into addiction. You begin to chase the next spiritual high, the next clearing, the next upgrade. But the more you chase, the more you fragment. And you don't realize that what you're feeding isn't your soul, it's a spirit attached to your healing practice that now demands energy in exchange for temporary relief. This is where the fifth sign often emerges. Your gifts become distorted. You may begin to see visions, receive downloads, or hear messages that feel powerful but leave you anxious, overwhelmed, or disconnected from your body. The messages may come through during meditation or healing, but they lack the signature of divine intelligence. They may predict doom, demand loyalty, or constantly shift in tone. You begin to confuse psychic sensitivity with spiritual truth. But remember, psychic doesn't always mean divine. Many entities operate on the astral plane. They can offer visions, insights, even healing, but with strings attached. And if you don't know how to discern vibration, you may mistake a clever parasite for a celestial guide. Have you ever asked yourself, where does this energy actually come from? What contracts have I unknowingly made in the name of healing? Because the sixth sign is subtle but catastrophic, your free will begins to erode. You start believing that your healing must happen in a certain way, through certain rituals, under specific cosmic alignments. You begin to outsource your power to oracles, tools, and timelines. You no longer trust your inner knowing unless it's confirmed externally. And while you tell yourself you're expanding spiritually, what's really happening is that your sovereignty is being siphoned. You are no longer the alchemist, you are the vessel. And something else is steering the wheel. This is why the seventh sign is the most important. You feel increasingly disconnected from source. Not in a dramatic or obvious way, but in a slow, creeping numbness. Ju Hai phase. Your laughter becomes rare. Your prayers feel hollow. You may still perform the rituals, say the mantras, wear the white robes, but something vital is missing. It's the warmth, the intimacy, the felt presence of divine love. And in its place is a cold, force-structured, powerful, even intelligent, but devoid of grace. That is the final sign that your energy work has been corrupted. The spirit you are working with does not carry the frequency of God. It carries the frequency of control. So I ask you now, with all the love in the universe, what if your healing path has been hijacked? What if the very thing you believed was saving you is siphoning you? Could you recognize the signs? Would you have the courage to stop, to strip everything back down to the raw, trembling truth? Because sometimes the most radical healing isn't doing more energy work, it's walking away from it entirely, just long enough to remember who you are without it. To cleanse your field, you must return to simplicity. Not more power, but more presence. Not more light, but more love. Not more activation, but more truth. And truth has a frequency that demons cannot mimic. It is humble. It is quiet. It is clear. When you return to that frequency, healing happens not through force, but through grace. And no entity, no matter how clever, can counterfeit grace. Part 2. The parasite in the practice. How darkness masquerades as light. There is a moment in every spiritual path where we must stop asking, "Is this working?" and start asking, "What am I working with?" Because not all energy is clean. Not all frequency is truth. Many practitioners unknowingly partner with forces that do not serve their highest self, not because they are evil, but because they are unaware. And in spirituality, ignorance is not bliss, it is a portal. A portal for distortion, for deception, for demonic interference that doesn't come with horns and fire, but with light and promises. We must understand a universal law. Anything that bypasses your free will to influence your choices, no matter how divine it appears, is not of the light. Demonic corruption in energy healing rarely begins with fear. It begins with fascination, the rush of downloads, the allure of secret knowledge, the seductive pull of becoming a divine channel. You feel powerful but not peaceful. You feel called but not clear. And slowly, the line between you and the entity begins to dissolve. You stop being a vessel of healing and start becoming a conduit for its agenda. One of the most dangerous signs of this corruption is emotional inversion. You begin to experience emotional states that do not match your external reality. You feel a sudden wave of anger during a peaceful moment. You feel despair when nothing is wrong. These emotions seem to rise out of nowhere, and you begin to doubt your inner stability. This is not ascension. This is interference. The entity is no longer just feeding on your energy, it's imprinting its frequency onto your emotional body. And now your healing work becomes contaminated. The pain you release is not just yours, it's being recycled and fed back into your system. A closed loop, a spiritual siphon. Another sign is a compulsive need to fix others. You see every person as an energetic project. You feel a deep pull to intervene, to heal, to awaken. But this need is not rooted in compassion, it's rooted in ego disguised as service. The demon whispers, "You are their only hope." It flatters your role. It inflates your spiritual identity. And now your healing becomes a tool of control. You no longer hold space you invaded. You don't empower others, you override them. The demon doesn't need you to wear black robes. It only needs you to believe that your healing is more sacred than their sovereignty. Over time, this creates a split in your perception. You begin to divide the world into awakened and asleep, high vibe and low vibe, light workers and matrix beings. This duality feels righteous, but it is rooted in fear. The entity you've partnered with thrives in division. It convinces you that you're in a spiritual war and that everyone who disagrees with you is an agent of darkness. But in truth, the real war is within, between your soul and the influence that now distorts it. The moment you believe that your path is the only path, your light has already been compromised. Ask yourself now, has your healing practice made you more compassionate toward all beings or only toward those who validate your beliefs? Because true light does not need validation. It does not demand agreement. It simply is. It radiates. It invites. It does not coerce. If your energy healing has become a spiritual campaign, if you feel the need to convert others, to prove your awakening, or to shame the unconscious, then know this: your light has been hijacked by the very darkness you believe you are fighting. Another subtle form of corruption is the illusion of spiritual acceleration. You begin to believe that you are evolving faster than others, that you are downloading higher codes, that your vibration is too advanced for the average person. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. The entity flatters your growth to mask its grip. It feeds you spiritual half-truths that make you feel chosen while quietly severing your connection to grounded truth. You start to feel allergic to slowness, to simplicity. You begin chasing ever more complex healing modalities. cosmic teachings, and multidimensional identities. But here's the paradox. The more advanced your practice becomes, the less peace you feel. That is the red flag. Real healing brings more presence, not more noise. If your spiritual journey feels like a constant high-speed download, but your body is exhausted, your relationships are strained, and your inner child is still frozen in trauma, you are not healing. You are hallucinating transformation, and the entity loves it. Because as long as you stay in the illusion of growth, you will never look at the places that still bleed. You will never slow down long enough to realize that the light inside you has been replaced by a clever imposter. Let's talk about the body now, because it never lies. When energy healing is pure, the body responds with openness. Your breath deepens. Your nervous system relaxes. You feel deeply here, not floating, not buzzing. But when a demonic force rides your healing, the body tenses. Your aura becomes sharp. Your hands may tingle, but your heart feels cold. You may become hyper-psychic, but emotionally disconnected. These are not signs of ascension. They are signs of possession, not in the Hollywood sense, but in the sense that your body is no longer the sole steward of your energy. Something else has stepped in, and it's using your healing as a disguise. At this point, many practitioners double down. They feel the distortion but become afraid to stop. They tell themselves they must keep going, keep healing, keep channeling. But the truth is, the healing path is not a freeway, it's a labyrinth. And sometimes, the most powerful move is to pause, to step back, to detox not just your body, but your practice. Strip it down, remove the tools, remove the titles, remove the guides. Ask your soul, what part of me allowed this influence in? What pain did it promise to fix? What power did it offer when I felt powerless? Because the demon didn't enter through malice. It entered through a wound, a longing, a forgotten prayer. And it answered it with a counterfeit light. Here's the real test. Try sitting in silence with no tools, no guides, no techniques. Just you, your breath, your body, your presence. If that silence feels unbearable, if your mind panics, if something screams inside you to do something, you've been conditioned by a force that fears your stillness. Because in stillness, the truth returns. In stillness, the soul speaks, and the soul does not shout. It does not demand, it whispers. And that whisper is the sound of your liberation. So I ask you now with the utmost reverence, who are you without your healing identity? Who are you without your modalities, your guides, your gifts? Can you still feel worthy, sacred, loved? Because that is the ultimate exorcism, not casting out a demon, but remembering the you that was never broken to begin with. If your healing path has become a burden, if your light feels artificial, if your power feels performative, pause, return, reclaim your breath, reclaim your body, reclaim your soul, because nothing pure can be taken. But anything you've built on fear, performance, or desperation can be corrupted. And if it has, then this is your awakening. Part 3, the silent takeover. When healing becomes haunting, there comes a point in every healer's journey, the dark night that no one glamorizes, where you realize the very thing meant to save you may have opened a door to something far more sinister. It happens quietly, slowly, beneath the surface of incense smoke and sacred chants. You begin to feel like a stranger in your own practice. You go through the same motions, lighting the candles, drawing the symbols, invoking your guides, but it feels hollow. The presence you used to feel is gone, or worse, it's still there, but different, colder. Every watching, not guiding. And deep within, a question rises that you're afraid to speak aloud. What if I've been healing with something that doesn't want me to heal? This is the final and most terrifying truth. Demonic interference in energy healing doesn't always come to destroy your practice. Sometimes it comes to own it, to twist it just enough that you still believe you're helping others, while slowly draining your life force. It allows you to keep your rituals, your clients, even your reputation. But behind every sacred act, it inserts its signature subtle manipulation, energetic dependency, and control. And you won't notice it until you begin questioning everything. Until you wake up from a session and feel like something else was working through your hands. Until your own healing leaves you feeling spiritually hungover. Until your clients begin mirroring back distorted energy that you didn't realize you were transmitting. One of the most hidden signs of corruption is the rise of false clarity. You begin to receive what feel like powerful insights, but they lead you away from your soul. You become convinced of things that divide you from others. You might believe your partner is no longer aligned. Your friends are low vibe. Your teacher has fallen. These insights feel real because they're emotionally charged. But they don't bring peace, they bring paranoia. And demons thrive in fear masquerading as intuition. They'll feed you visions of betrayal, separation, even spiritual war. Not to protect you, but to isolate you. Because the more isolated you are, the more you rely on them. This is how the energy of a parasite works. It doesn't just attach to you, it makes you believe you need it. It convinces you that it's your higher self, your divine guide, your protector. And as long as you're channeling it, it will give you just enough power to feel special downloads, visions, chills. But behind the scenes, it's feeding on your energy body, your vital essence, your emotional confusion. And the more you believe it's helping, the deeper the root grows. Until one day, you lose access to your real inner voice, the still, gentle one, the voice of your soul, replaced by a louder, more dramatic one that only speaks in urgency, fear, or inflated self-importance. So what do you do when you suspect your healing has been hijacked? First, you must be brave enough to stop, not forever, but long enough to recalibrate. To detox, to sit in raw, unfiltered silence. This is not easy because the entity will fight back. Not with claws, but with cravings. It will make you feel anxious without your rituals. It will tempt you with visions. It will whisper, you're losing your power. But that power it refers to was never yours. It was a loan, a counterfeit. A trade your soul never agreed to. And now it's time to take it back. You reclaim your practice by returning to the basics. Breath, stillness. Prayer not the kind that demands, but the kind that surrenders. You speak not to the astral, but to source. You call in your true guides, those aligned with unconditional love. And then you listen. Not for dramatic answers, but for the quiet return of peace. That's how you know you're back in alignment, when peace returns, when your chest softens, when the need to prove, to perform, to heal others fades and all that's left is presence. You also cleanse your space energetically and physically, not just with sage and sound, but with intention. You walk through your room and say, "This is my space. My soul is sovereign. No force may remain here that does not serve my highest truth." You take back every contract you made unconsciously. Every time you said yes to power instead of purity. Every session you held where you felt something was off but ignored it. You take it all back, through choice, through voice, through the authority of your remembering. And finally, you confront the part of you that let this happen. Not to shame it, but to understand it. Because the most dangerous demons don't come from other realms, they come from unhealed parts of ourselves. The child who wanted to feel special, the healer who needed validation, the seeker who was tired of feeling powerless. These are the doorways. And when we meet them with love, radical, honest love, we close those doors for good. Ask yourself now, what power did I chase that led me away from peace? Where did I mistake sensation for truth? What part of me was willing to trade sovereignty for significance? Because those are the questions that shift everything. Those are the questions that burn through illusion. Those are the questions that invite your soul back into its rightful seat. From here, your healing can begin again. But this time from a place of reverence, not performance. From a place of stillness, not spectacle. You become the vessel, not the show. You stop channeling anything that does not vibrate with absolute love. You stop giving your body to spirits you haven't fully vetted. You stop letting your ego decide what's divine. And in that realignment, something incredible happens. You begin to heal without needing to do anything. Your presence becomes the medicine. Your silence becomes the ceremony. Your truth becomes the protection. This is the great reset of the modern healer. The moment you stop chasing light and start embodying it. The moment you stop needing to be powerful and start being pure. The moment you realize that no demon, no distortion, no entity can enter a soul that is fully occupied by truth. So if you felt that something has gone off in your practice, trust that feeling. If your dreams have turned dark, if your sessions feel forced, if your body feels drained after healing, don't ignore it. That is your soul sounding the alarm. Not to shame you, but to awaken you. You haven't failed, you've just forgotten. And now, you remember. You are the temple. You are the flame. You are the gatekeeper of your own sacred energy. And from this moment forward, you no longer allow anything to heal through you that does not first honor the divinity within you. The demon may have walked in quietly, but it will leave loudly, because you are no longer available to be used. You are ready to be whole.